Welcome back to Houston Life. You know, these cooler temperatures, we are finally in fall. So you know what that means? I think it's a good idea to get in the kitchen and make something nice and warm.
I love this idea. And guess what? If anyone knows how joyful baking can be, it is certainly our next guest, Joy the Baker. She's a cookbook author, social media star, editor-in-chief of Joy the Baker magazine. It's so nice to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back. It is a little chilly outside. I think we should get baking, right?
It's chilly. And we got to tell you, Joy, the self-restraint here
I know.
It's
is
real good.
a big deal. These look delicious.
Yes, well, I made those just for you. They're oatmeal apple brown butter cookies.
Oh
so
my
that's what we're
gosh.
making today. They're from the new magazine, but I feel like they're just perfect for this time of year.
They certainly are, and perfect for any Astros party, because I don't know who your sorter is,
Yes.
but kudos to the sorter,
Yes.
because we have only blue and orange M&Ms.
Yes, they are the only M&Ms that exist right now.
Exactly.
That's all we need.
You got the memo.
Yes.
Okay, so cookie recipes sometimes can get, you know, a lot of ingredients, but this is very simple. What do we get started with?
This is simple, but we are throwing the entire kitchen sink into it. We start every good cookie with butter, of course. So we have two different kinds of butter here. This is room temperature butter. So, you know, that's what you usually need for cookies. But then, because it's fall, because I wanted to be extra cozy, I made browned butter. So brown butter is melted butter, which the milk solids brown and toast. So we're getting some of that cozy, toasted flavor in our butter.
And Joy, are we using salted or unsalted butter
We
here?
are using unsalted butter. That is the question of a true cook.
Really?
Yes, yes. Yeah, we're
Okay.
using unsalted. I like to be able to control the amount of salt that's
Sure.
in my baked goods. Granted, I do add some. So to our butter, I'm adding granulated sugar and brown sugar. And while I mix these together, do you want to throw the dry ingredients together?
Yes.
In that bowl we have, so that's all-purpose flour.
Right.
You could use gluten-free flour if you needed to.
Okay.
Those are old-fashioned oats and want a nice hearty cookie flavor.
Rolled oats.
Yep. And then we have baking soda. Mix that in there.
Okay.
Salt.
Oh, that's a very coarse salt right there, like a sea salt?
Yeah, that's a sea salt. I either use sea salt or kosher salt. Yeah. And then cinnamon to make things nice and cozy. You could add some nutmeg in there, a little bit of allspice, depending on what you want to do.
And you've taken, for the Astros-themed version, sorry to jump in, Courtney, the orange and blue here, this is a fall-themed cookie. So you could make it, you could dress it up however you wanted.
However you'd like, but we are doing a big fall theme, so I've added apples and pecans. We're just going the whole way. So my butter isn't really behaving the way I wanted to because it's just a little chilly out, which is why we're baking.
We
But
have the magic
Yes.
of TV.
She's a wizard as well.
a little swap will do. So this is my sugars creamed with the butter and egg as well.
Okay.
So to this, the bowl's a little small, but I'm gonna start to add my dry ingredients into this bowl.
And is this like the fold-in method
This
that
is
we're
the
talking?
fold.
We've all heard about.
This is the fold.
What about using a mixer, Joy? Is that blasphemy, or
No, not at all.
can you do it?
You can absolutely use a mixer. I like to use a hand mixer, you know, so I don't have to cart out the big old stand mixer, but a hand mixer is perfect.
I love a good
We
hand
are,
mixer.
you know, we're out here outside of the stadium, so we're not using a mixer today.
Right, so it's
Yeah.
like we're camping, but we want to make sure the dry ingredients get into the wet ingredients fully mixed.
fully incorporated.
And this is where we would now add in these other accoutrements?
Yeah, and you can absolutely start to add them in. So we
Okay.
have toasted and chopped pecans. I think these add just a nice little crunch.
Beautiful.
My favorite part of these cookies is the dried apples, so you can add those in.
And did you dry these, or are we buying them dried?
Oh, we're buying them
Oh,
dry,
good girl.
my friend. Yes,
Aren't I?
no.
I just need to ask.
Outsource.
We are outsourcing. And then these are butterscotch chips, which just
Lovely.
make things feel like fall. And then, of course, we'll add the Astros as well.
And magic
We
of
did it.
TV, because we're such good folders.
You're a wizard, too.
I know.
Yes, and then we can grab the Astros M&Ms and
Okay.
add those just to do it up right.
How do you know, Joy, with cookie dough, is there a point when you are over-mixing? How
Put
do
it
you
in the
know
wrong
when
bowl.
it's mixed enough but not over-mixed?
You know, you can't really overmix a cookie dough so much. And you'd have to mix it for like an hour before it were overmixed. But if you mix it for like 5 minutes or so, that's your zone. Because ultimately you just want to eat the cookies, so you won't really overmix them. You know, so once we have our cookie dough all set, we just put it on a baking sheet. This is chilled.
It's kind of cold.
This is kind of cold, but we'll incorporate these together.
And do
roll
you
them
use
into
a
balls.
cookie scoop or just a regular teaspoon or tablespoon to
I
scoop?
like to use a cookie scoop, or you just grab some with your hands and press it together. This is a firm cookie dough, so you can just press it together, roll them into balls, and bake them off.
It's
I like
so
to
great.
chill my dough just for about an hour or so before I put it in the oven, but yeah.
And how long are we baking these for?
We're baking these for 12 or so minutes. They come out nice, golden. They're crisp around the edges and chewy in the center.
Look at that.
You know, they're just so good.
It's the perfect fall
It
recipe.
is the perfect fall cookie.
That is a nice, hearty cookie. Enjoy. You can find this recipe in your fall winter magazine.
Yes,
Yeah?
this is in the latest Joy the Baker magazine. Wherever magazines are sold, it is there.
This is so good.
Good,
It
good.
is
This is like
very, very good.
a fall or Thanksgiving, because you can really add this whenever, but it's
like a
delicious. The flavors are
Thanksgiving meal.
amazing.
Yeah, good. I'm so glad.
It's like a warm hug when you have a cookie fresh out of the oven.
really
Okay,
is.
as a reminder, so Joy's Fall Winter Magazine is on newsstands now. So anywhere magazines are sold, you can find it. You can also visit our website, HoustonLife.tv, to connect with Joy and find more information.
So fun, y'all.
Thank you. And
Thanks
so
thanks
much.
for coming down to the field trip out here. We
Wouldn't
love
have missed it.
Got the orange and
Go
blue
Stros.
memo. Go Stros. Great to see you, Joy.